It's time for joining us interactive, and Aisha has joined me. Good evening, Aisha.
Good evening to you, Israel. How are you?
I'm well. How about you?
I'm great. Just that we've been commemorating some
28th February Crossroads shooting.
Great people who sacrificed for us.
How about the Shatawale Apono beef? You don't have anything on that?
Yes. I don't want to talk about it. It's something else. I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
All right. So you know how to join the conversation. It's on facebook.com/joynews-on-TV. On Twitter is on Joy News on TV. Now, we begin with February 28, which is a day set aside to commemorate three great sons of this country, Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Atipo, and Private Odate, who were killed 69 years ago in the 28th February shooting. The day was commemorated with a wreath-laying ceremony at the Nationalism Park earlier today. So I need you to share with me how you feel about this incident, and does the commemoration of the 28th February Crossroads shooting ignite a sense of nationalism in you as a Ghanaian?
Maybe historical. From how the people suffered for independence, we read back in history, it does give that sense. But as it stands now, presently, we are all going about economic duties and thinking about what to do next. So maybe presently not so much of nationalism.
For now, it seems like people are forgetting about what happened that day. So now I don't think like people will celebrate about it. Yeah.
Because it is said that a nation that does not remember its heroes is not worth dying for. So when such people, sacrifice their life, which I know from history led to our independence, then it's worth celebration in a big time. Yeah, more than a Ghanaian and more Ghanaian, because if people can sacrifice their life to that extent, I also feel that in my spirit that I owe it a duty to do my best so that Ghana will move forward.
Publicity is not there, so a lot of people are not aware that something happened like that. Young boys and young guys like me, we have to keep on reminding us that this is what happened some time ago. But as at now, I think we only came on news this afternoon that the president lay a wreath on behalf of those people. A lot of people are not aware. But if they keep on reminding us so and so, that I think that one will bring us all together.
So what's the gentleman trying to say? That if we keep laying wreath, then it will remind us to be patriotic or to have a sense of nationalism?
Well, to that effect, the more we talk about it, the more patriotic people get.
I think it should be natural. I mean, it should be there.
Well, there should be something that would inspire you and ginger you.
Well, definitely.
Papa Abeka on Facebook says, those heroes died for Mother Ghana on a good cause, but I bet you they won't try for today's Ghana. For what? They are weeping in their graves, asking if this is the same country they died for. La Dixon says, well, it will be good to celebrate such a day, to actually remember ourselves of such past incidents. But I think the money that will be put into the celebration can be redirected to Ghana's 60th anniversary celebration, since that is the main thing that reminds us of where we come from as a nation. And he has a long hashtag, otherwise it would be just a waste of national resource at this crucial moment. Bambakia Samuel says, I think we should always celebrate events like this by finding a way of making the people, these heroes left behind to live comfortable lives. That will be far better than laying wreaths and wasting resources.
And Kwesi Boateng says, a nation who does not honor its hero is not worth dying for. Those departed souls fought for us, and the politicians today especially came to chop for us. Richard Kweku from Pullman says, I hear the president said some monies amounting to some 200 million cedis will be given to the ex-servicemen. Is this the same country that the government claims is broke? They can't carry the load. Ayeka. And those are some of the comments. Iduku Danyi Jr. says, not really, because like the independence, all these past events have no bearing on our modern day challenges. Our leaders should put their thinking caps on and solve our problems.
Yeah. All right, now, Richard, I'm not sure about the 200 million CDs.
He's
I think it's more about 200,000 CDs or so.
Okay, and I think that goes to speak for one of the people who sent the messages that if we can make the families of these three great men comfortable, I mean, it's worth it, rather than just going to put flowers on their... Anyway, so at 60 also, 6 days to the much anticipated Ghana 60 celebrations. I'm sure you have already ironed your anniversary cloth or planning how to spend the holiday. But the anniversary planning committee seem to have a bigger problem as they are yet to raise 10 million out of the 20 million cedis budgeted for the celebrations. Well, even though the clock is ticking fast, the committee is optimistic it will raise the money at all costs. You recall that the president earlier promised funding for the anniversary will be raised from corporate institutions. Now, the question I ask, do you trust they can raise the money before next week, or you think they may be forced to dip their hands into public purse?
Oh, no, I'm not sure. You see, we're all Ghanaians, and I think we love Ghana. And Ghana at 60 is worth celebrating, at least. We have to celebrate it. Because all the same, we look at the churches. Within one Sunday, you can raise a huge sum of money as an offering. And we're all Ghanaians. We have to help celebrate Ghana 60. So we can raise that money.
Looking at the time too, we are almost 6 days. Well, I know they can do it without touching the public purse.
You think they can raise 20 million cedis from?
For the amount, I'm not sure they can get it. For the amount, I'm not sure, because look, they have just a few days to 6 March, and I'm not sure they can get that amount. But touching the public cafes, I'm not sure that one they will do too, because of Nana-Addo. I know Nana-Addo, and I know he won't allow them to do that.
God will give them the direction. If it be that they have to get some, that is what I'm saying. Our God is a miraculous God. He can even send some donors to, as it were, give us something whilst we're celebrating our 60th birthday as a present. Who knows? There are many people in this country who are so rich. God has blessed us. He has endowed us.
All right, so he believes that God has blessed us, and of course, 1 week is not too small time for us to start wondering where we're going to get the money. And he feels that God may even send some donors to come and touch us money.
Who knows, we probably have the money already lined up. You never know.
You never know, of course. Let's check what you've been sending on Facebook.
Richard Kweku from Pomanso says they have so far raised only 500,000 cedis from 2 entities. Unibank donated 300,000 cedis, while EIB Networks donated 200,000 cedis in airtime. Where will the rest to make up the 20 million be taken from? In any case, how does an economy that is able to generate such money be said to be in a poor shape? This government will repeat what its antecedent did in Ghana at 50, rugged change. Kwesi Boateng says at least a committee coming out with that idea of seeking sponsorship is novelty, but it's rather unfortunate the NDC administration has eroded all the goodwill associated with governance. So the corporate world is feeling adamant to sponsor, but I believe within these 6 days, things can turn around for good. Multimedia, you are part of the corporate world. Yes, we are aware. We are aware. Filmski Kenneth says, Mr. Israel, they should invest that amount of money into the energy sector than wasting it on a march pass. Ghana, Wogbejeke.
And Jenny Neram says, public purse, 60 years is not easy though, but we don't need to overspend the little fund we have as a country on this occasion. The best we can offer our dear Ghana is to invite men of God in our own land to help us thank God for how far he has brought us and pray to him to deliver us from future chaos. Joseph Ofori says, is it not the normal Independence Day we celebrate on 6th March? What's special about this? We are. And so is our problems and ideas, fake and outmoded. And that's Joseph Ofori on the Ghana history issue. Finally, the campaign against stigmatization against people living with HIV/AIDS has been a big one, especially here in Ghana and Africa as a whole. This is one of the reasons why Sadie Brown, a young South African, shared her HIV status on Twitter in a post which read, "When I found out that at 14 I was HIV positive, I didn't think I would live to see 18, but now I am turning 22 this year." According to Sadie, the more we talk about HIV, the more we can destigmatize it. So all I need you to tell me is whether you will be bold enough to share your HIV status on social media and why.
No, because it can bring disgrace to me if I do that. I don't feel okay with doing that. Because maybe if I do that and some other time I'm walking on the way and someone sees me, the person can discover me and see me as that person.
I don't think, I don't think I'll do that because maybe I have friends and I have family, and if maybe I declare it, a lot of people will know that maybe I have this, and maybe don't get closer to me the way it is in the society, in Ghanaian society. Even when you are HIV, they don't want to get closer to you, so I don't think I will declare it.
I don't think declaring my status, HIV status on social media is something that the public should have knowledge of. It's my own personal status, so I don't see why it should be on social media. If we want to curb the stigma, I don't think declaring it on social media is the best thing to do. Probably you have family and friends around who can also help you to overcome the stigma. So it shouldn't be everyone and it shouldn't be everything that should be on social media. Well, just because you may never know who you meet somewhere. Probably maybe there are some people who are biased against people with HIV/AIDS and all that. So when they see you and they know that you have this disease, they would rather shy away from you and rather try to downplay you or something like that.
I don't think I'll do that. I'll keep it personal because, you know, we're in Ghana and they don't see HIV the way I see it. Probably. People won't get closer to me, so I'll keep it myself and work things out myself.
Interesting, but pathetic, Israel, to think that you can't even disclose your status because people will stigmatize you.
Well, just like Kwesi Boateng Ayepa is saying, he says, "I will not even dare to know my status." Which you leave me with a nightmare. Come to think of it, making the results available to social media, the pressure associated with HIV test results is even enough to cast out demons.
And I tend to agree with you. If you live in a country like ours, you won't dare do anything. But of course, if you know your status, it's good to know your status.
Jenny Nairam says, as human as we are, on certain issues we can't be real. Anyone who shares his or her HIV status will definitely tell lies. Even people neglect their family names and fake themselves just to feel okay on social media platforms. Prince Nuruddin also says discrimination and stigmatization won't allow people living with HIV to share their lives on social media.
Eduku Denchi Jr. says, I have not thought of testing, not to talk about sharing it on social media. And Dixon Labik says, hell no, I won't even go for an HIV/AIDS test. If I do that and it turns out that I'm positive, my thinking alone will kill me, not to even talk of making my status known to the public. Hashtag not at all. Daniel Oheniado says, hell no, why should I? Society is not ready for the unearthing of your secret for your acceptance. Massa, keep it secret. Okay, Teche Edu Poku says, for fear of victimization and discrimination, I wouldn't advise anyone to share their HIV status. And Bambakia Same says, what? Am I mad to do such a thing? I wouldn't even advise my enemy to do that. And those are some comments on Facebook.